I think I saw God for a lot of my life as a disciplinarian and someone who just had a lot of rules. I didn't experience the heart of God, maybe the Father of God.
We've had a lot of places where we've been humbled, I think, where we've had to go into really difficult places in terms of ourselves and our own weakness, and places where our identity is being challenged. And I think that was something God needed to shape in us in order for us to lead our team.
So our mission at Novacom is to transform the construction experience and to be transformed in the process.
Well, we're a general contractor. We build commercial spaces. They're complex, they're interesting, unique, and sometimes they're simple, but it's fun work.
Cheryl has a real passion for people. I think our relationship really changed as we became adults. We went from a typical brother-sister relationship as kids to really becoming good friends and having a lot of the same interests.
It started with the foundation of our dad starting the business and caring about people. I never thought I was going to be in business. It was something we would talk about at the family dinner table.
Back in 2016, my dad retired. We had worked together for over 10 years and he had stepped back, and I had a real powerful sense that I didn't want to be leading on my own, that I wanted to be doing it with the team. So we formed a leadership team and we decided that we were going to really kind of find our mission.
We had arrived at this vision of what we were. We were going to transform people, we were going to transform spaces. We had some clarity of what we were about. And 2 weeks after that retreat, we got home and Brandon found out his wife was leaving him. And I actually found out that I had lost a pregnancy, our first pregnancy, and we kind of got hit.
I came home and my wife told me that she was leaving. And it really, it hit me really hard, something that I didn't see coming. That moment was really a huge turning point in my life. Shortly after she told me, I was feeling the weight of being alone. And so I just prayed, and God really showed up for me in a really powerful way. That was really the beginning of a long journey of growth.
At 32, I had my daughter. I wasn't really sure that I actually wanted to have a child, and we worked through that and ended up deciding that we would. I had kind of wanted to control that aspect of my life, and so it was sort of a big journey to get up to that point, to have a child, and then you took the leap off that ledge and then ended up in a place that was pretty challenging on the other side. I didn't even really know what postpartum depression was before that exactly. I knew it existed, but I didn't really know what it looked like. And I didn't want to wake up in the morning. I didn't want to live another day. I do feel like my identity was really questioned and really challenged because I didn't feel capable. I kind of would always say to my counselor, I feel like motherhood is a coat and I'm trying to put it on and it doesn't fit. Like it doesn't fit me. It fits other people, but it doesn't fit me.
And I remember some specific moments in that 3-year period. One time in particular, I was looking out at the ocean. It was sort of sunset, and God saying, like, this light that you see is like a glimpse of what I have for you.
I saw a deep shift in Brandon through his divorce. He opened himself up to us. He made himself really vulnerable and shared what was going on and let us in, which was huge. There's so much beauty born out of brokenness. I think we've crashed and burned in a lot of ways to learn that we need to open ourselves up to a better narrative.
I actually think it needed to be my undoing in a certain way. I think I needed to come to the end of myself, and I needed the Lord to say that you are loved and you are mine. Just this past fall, a staff member of ours had kind of come to the end of himself, and he actually walked off one of our job sites and attempted to take his life. I sat in the hospital room with him, and we had this connection and this ability just to have a conversation about what it feels like to not have hope and what it feels like to not want to face the next day. It felt that there was so much connection. We sat there in that weird little emergency room and we said a prayer, and it was so beautiful. And I walked out of the hospital and I broke down kind of in tears in the parking lot, and I thought, That's what all of this is for.
Even though it feels like a really big mission, the whole idea of transforming construction and people and how our faith connects with our work, that it's not something that you're going to see happen in a year or two. It's something that's going to be a lifetime. And so seeing all those little milestones along the way, whether it's someone sharing their story of how they've grown and how it's impacted their family and their life at home and stuff, like those stories have become way more meaningful to me than just the results and the numbers.
They not only want to like get to know you as like an employee, but like they want to know like about like your wife or your brothers and sisters or your parents or your dogs or whatever it is, right? They like want to know like what makes you you. My dad passed away from cancer last year, so obviously like I had to take some time away from Novacom. I didn't really even have to ask, like when I explained to Brandon like what the situation was, it was just like, she's like, just go, right? Like let us know when you can come back. And so like Novacom actually like chipped in money for my mom to like stay in a hotel and get like restaurant gift cards because she's like eating out the whole time. So, and it's like I'd only been here for like not even a year at that time. Like my mom was like super blown away. She's like Novacom cares about not only like you as an employee but also like your extended family.
Ultimately, growth of a person is not constrained to one part of life. It's really all of life. So our hope and mission is that this is a place where people are allowed to grow, where we facilitate that growth, where we pour into it.
When you look back at these 5 years and you see that we made a mission statement that we sort of boldly went out there with, which was, you know, transforming spaces and being transformed in the process, I think the second half of that phrase is what had to happen. We had to be transformed in the process.
Our mission of transforming people is not making people better leaders at work. It's like helping people grow to become more full versions of who God made them to be.